Hello and welcome to tonight's edition of the Evening Review. My name is Toiwanja Bela, your host for tonight. Let's quickly look at today's front page of Namibian Sun. Yeah, so in this segment tonight, I'm joined by Mr. Job Muniaro. He's the Secretary General of the National Union of Namibian Workers, NUNW, to talk to us about a lot of things as they relate to the life of Namibian workers. Welcome to the show, Mr. Muniaro.
Thank you, and all the best.
yeah. So let's talk about your federation. It's the oldest in the country. It is probably the most historic one also in the history of our country, having been established in 1970 in Tanga, Tanzania, as part of Swapo's push to also have the right of workers recognized and respected. And then the federation, of course, went on to become very active in the liberation struggle politics of the time. But people would say today that a lot of people today feel that the NUNW of those years and the one of today, there's a huge difference, that today's federation is a shadow of its former self. What do you say what do you say is the cause of that?
Thank you very much, Comrade. I think NUNW stands for National Union of Namibian Workers.
Yes.
Rightly said. The political parties over the right of workers started a long way ago. Before Swapo party was formed, workers started to fight for their rights.
Yes.
When workers wanted to take a petition to the United Nations, by that time, they were not a political party. It's how the formation of a political party by workers came about. And it becomes a workers' party, a Swapo party. In the meantime, there is a body called ILO,
Yes.
the National Labour Organization. So why you see the Swapo party through its arm called NUNW, before independence, they were already part and parcel of LO. It tells you the significance of NUNW on our political space and the right of workers. So the fought to liberate this country politically was done aggressively. Lives was being lost, and blood have shed and flow. Now at this current moment, when you want NUNW to play a role in a fight for a better living, or for a better Namibia, or for a green Namibia,
Yes.
I don't think we want to be known as aggressive as we were.
Yes.
Because we have accepted a lot of things that were not to be accepted. You find us smiling with people who have been sambonking us.
Yes.
We find that reconciliation had made peace. There's no war in this country.
Yeah.
We don't want war.
Yeah.
We want development. We want good lives.
Yeah.
So you cannot expect me to be as a root fighter before.
I get that. That's a
for someone to be liberated mentally, one needs to understand between the politics of yesterday
yes.
and the economy of today.
Okay.
in order for you to look in shadows.
Yeah.
Everybody has shadows. There's a shadow, including those ones who has never contributed to this country.
Yes.
It's also a fake shadow.
I get that. But perhaps the context of that comparison is not very much about bloody confrontations. It's in the sense of the NUNW, even in the 90s. NUNW actually was at the forefront of a workers' revolution where the union would confront government on key issues of bread and butter. When I was a reporter some years ago, if we were told that there's a press conference of NUNW, we scrambled in the newsroom. We fought to be the one to be sent by the editor to these events because it was always explosive front page material. Today they would say that under your leadership, the NUNW has become very like a puppy. Nobody's afraid of NUNW anymore.
Yeah, yes, you see, that's an analysis of journalism. You see, the moment you say you have been aggressive in writing,
yes.
Today, journalist does not write what is said. You go and put your own ingredients in what I'm saying. And you awaken us. Yeah. You don't want people to hear how truthful we are against these people. When I said, write exactly what I have said.
But you're not saying anything.
You go and dilute.
But you're not saying anything,
Yeah,
Mr.
last
Muniaro.
week I had a press conference.
About what?
Last Thursday I had the first press conference. You only wrote it today.
Of course, that is not an issue. It's not about when it's published.
Because you wanted people to forget of what I have said, so that you write thereafter. So you are fighting your own life. We are fighting for your life. You fight against that as a journalist, forgetting that you are a worker.
No, but you know that is exactly the point I'm trying to make to you, Mr. Muniaro, is that there isn't enough conversations, enough discourse coming out of the unions these days. The country has so many issues: land, mass retrenchments, NIEF, the very important policy framework that has been proposed, Fish Road. Nothing of the sort was. We haven't heard your pronouncements on those issues. Why? You
will not hear them because you don't follow. You, at least if you can go back to your archives and read all the statements that we have been issuing. We have been saying government must own all diamonds, mining, must own all fishing sectors. There's no fishing for foreigners. This is a language that we speak, and it's hardly been written. I can give you all my statements. I have never been in a press conference that I have not demanding that Namibia must own 50% of its minerals and products. So it's unfortunate because I have never seen you in a press conference since I have been at NUNW. It's unfortunate, and so it's not strange that you have that type of questions.
No, of course my job is now office bound, but of course my colleagues always come around. But anyways, if you pronounce yourself on these issues as loudly as you want to make me believe tonight, what was your role in helping those mass retrenchments at sea the other year? The NUNW of yesteryear that we've known, a very socialist aligned movement that actually spoke and stood with the workers. Those guys are still there camping in Walvis Bay as we speak.
You see, it's good that you brought it up.
Yeah.
We have drove a few thousand kilometers up and down there. And I guarantee you, there is no single employer in Walvis Bay, after our efforts, that have refused to take back these workers.
Where are they now?
The workers was not members of NUNW. They were workers under another federation. And they were convinced by a federation that to whom they belong, to take their demands as per their federation.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate I cannot speak on someone else's demands and all things. But I have done the efforts together with government, and they have companies, all the fishing sectors. We had meetings with them several times until they surrendered as a fine on your call, comrade. We tell these people that they can come on this day and report back at work on the same conditions that they were employed of. But if someone came and said, fine, comrade, I'm not going back, because if I go back, this is what I want. Then the federation, the government, the companies cannot be blamed. That I'm saying here, it's on black and white. It's not a thumb stories.
Bernard, not Bernard Dessau, but Albert Kawana was meeting those fishing workers regularly, especially before the by-election that took place in that town earlier this year. He went there, he promised them they'll be taken back. To the best of my knowledge, as I sit here tonight, I don't think those guys have been taken in yet.
So you were asking me a question that you could have asked Comrade Kawana, because he's the one who knows where he will place them.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So when you say...
But the interest of them being employed as all Namibians is there. That's why we are still calling to say fishing quotas and shares must be given to Namibians to create jobs for Namibians.
Okay. Which takes me back to the question that I asked you earlier, whether the unions in general and NUNW in particular have become toothless puppies, because why are companies so powerful that government can speak, nothing is happening, unions can speak, the biggest trade union federation in the country speaks, the workers are still on the street? Is it a shift in terms of power that nobody really cares anymore what NUNW has to say?
You see, it's good, because I'm saying it's just because you are office bound. I will not blame you not much. When we came in, we had 18,000 workers in the fishing sectors almost. And out of this 18,000, only 3,000 were permanent employed. The current state, we have fought that, and in the current state, you will not find workers that are temporarily employed. So it's not for us to go to a boardroom, sitting on a chair and going with stones in my pocket. It's about going to a table, negotiate, with faith. And then when you negotiate, a positive outcome will come. You have to make sure that companies also to adhere to your call must be advised. And the advice must be proper. That's why you have found out that when we demanded permanent employment, their quotas was low. We have twisted the minister's arms to add to this. And companies that were not willing to employ people permanently, we forced them to lose their quotas. And they have succumbed to that. We have managed to bring some companies owners that have never ended Namibia since they got quotas, foreign companies. Their CEOs are untouchable. They have landed here in Windhoek. Unfortunately, you don't know, because you don't go to press conferences.
Because I don't go but even if I don't go to press...
that is wonders that we are doing.
Okay. Fair enough, Mr. Muniaro. So
the director of ILO, the current director, was in this country, invited by labor tripartism. I hope you have shaken his hand. Can be a testimony to that. His history in this Africa, that the Director General from the United Nations is coming here.
Yes.
On the basis of that.
Okay. Yeah, so we're not allowed to shake hands now, but
it's fine.
Soon, hopefully. But also, Mr. Muniaro, I heard you speak earlier about the efforts of government and yourself, and this is exactly what seems to be the problem now. The perception that people have of the unions, especially your group of unions, is that is that you seem to be now just absorbed in government. It's like you are a government arm yourselves, when you should actually be putting government on its toes, not unnecessarily, but there's been enough grounds at times for the unions to come out and say, government, we do not agree with how you are approaching this matter as a union or as a federation. This is how we propose things must happen. So there's this thing of how do you reply to the accusation that the unions are now just in bed with government?
No. Normally does not want to get milk out of a stone. When you say those type of things, you must mention what it is.
You said
no, just say specifically what did you, this you have not done, this you have not done, this not done.
Yeah, so is the example that I'm giving you, Mr. Muniaro, of the fishing workers. Neither you nor government has actually succeeded at getting those people there. So no, you are
the answer is just straightforward. I told you all these people was convinced by our request. And government, including the companies, has succumbed to that. And they have surrendered to say, bring them back, let them come and start. Yeah. If someone does not want to go and start, what do you expect? You want to still blame someone because you don't want work?
Who does? No, I mean, who doesn't want work? People on the street, Mr. Muniaro, up to now. They want to be taken back.
The papers are there. Letters are there that says, come back, come start. On the same employment condition, no record, no firing, no disciplinary hearing. And you still just say, I'm not going. Now you said, we were toothless.
Okay.
How do you want us to bite people to go back to work?
Yeah, I'll have to follow that up, Mr. Muniaro, because it doesn't.
No, don't follow up. Come to my office.
It doesn't make sense.
I'll give you everything on paper.
Yeah, I'll follow up with you because
yes,
it doesn't make sense that people who are demanding to go back to their jobs have been called to go back to their jobs, but somehow they are not going back. I mean, what is the point of being on the street?
Their own demand, correct. I'm going back on my condition.
Okay. Okay, so that is also fair. I mean, so it's not just a question. The trade union, the unions,
and also, comrade, for your information, you don't know how this happened. If people go on breathing spaces time, you have normally 1 month of breathing space officially, and someone goes on that space, and then after this period, you have not turned back to work.
Yeah.
And still yet, we are fighting for you to come back after 2-3 months absence.
But the terms, are the terms bad? Why are they being unreasonable?
That was normal. You come back at a normal when you are on leave, comrade. If you don't come back on leave, you said, when I'm coming back from leave, I have another type of employment condition that I want.
Let me put this to you, Mr. Muniaro.
I want you to understand what I'm saying.
I understand you completely. You are a successful farmer in Omaheke region, one of the most successful farmers that you have employees. If your employees say, Mr. Muniaro, you are exploiting us, and somehow you fire the employees, and the representative negotiates for you to take them back, and you want to take them back on the same terms that they were angry with in the first place, that cannot work. You call them back under improved conditions, isn't it? Is it not your responsibility to see that?
You see, one thing. When you apply for a job, you have never advertised your position yourself. The position was advertised, you applied.
Yes.
Why? You applied because you want that position the way it is advertised. When you come into my employment and I'm saying you must go every day after my goats, now you come back to tell me from now onwards I will only go after your goats 1 day. Then you have changed the job that you have applied for.
It's exploitation, because what we are saying now is that, yes, I was desperate, I applied for a job, I got into the job and found that the conditions are actually not conducive, and I want them to be improved. There's nothing wrong. As a trade unionist, you must be actually...
My brother,
yes.
When you are at a farm, you have gone to work at a farm. You have not gone to a rehabilitation center. You have not gone to a charity center. So you must go and do your job for what you have applied for. It's not a matter of saying, when I am there, I can change the conditions of employment. to suit me.
No, but that is the attitude of the unions these days, that employers might just dictate the terms.
No.
Employees cannot say, look,
your example does not even fit in any employment in this world.
You are an employer. You are an employer. And
so what you are trying to clarity, what you are trying to get does not fit in this world. It will never fit.
So if sea workers say we need better conditions, they are not allowed to do that.
You are allowed to look for a better condition. The law is there, Labor Act is there.
Yes.
That takes care of your conditions. The law is there, the Supreme Constitution is there, that can follow your. But you cannot say, I will not be at work. I've absent myself for now. I will fight my rights outside employment.
Yeah.
Where do you want to be? How do you want to do that? You must be employed and fight for your rights within the employment.
That is
if you have left your job, or you are staying in the north, you must not sit there in the north and say, I'm for now not coming back to my work, employment, but I will fight for my employment rights from outside. Is that what you want to tell the nation?
Okay.
As a unionist, it's not true.
Let's depart from this subject. So, part of the problem today, Mr. Muniaro, is that the unions, especially your group of unions, including the one that you are leading, have become also active participants in business. You have business arms. A lot of your members, leaders in those unions actually serve on boards and committees of commercial entities. Is that why you're speaking like this? That you seem to be speaking for business now rather than the workers?
You cannot differentiate. You cannot make a difference between the worker and the business. How do you want to do it? The moment I'm employed there, my share is already there as a salary.
Yes. As a worker now.
As a worker, I got a budget from that company, for my salaries, for all my benefits. I will be part and parcel of that. But if the business, as a federation of an organization of the workers, can do better business within that, what is wrong with that?
Okay. You see, businesses will be very, very happy to hear you speak like that, Mr.
There's nothing
Muniaro.
wrong with it. I mean, to have a share in a business does not mean you have no right to defend or to represent workers, because rights of workers.
It's a threat to your interest.
Never.
When workers demand better salaries and better working conditions, it threatens your revenues, your bottom line. That's why you are speaking for business.
No. It's totally not. It's not totally not true. It's your question compare two things that are not comparable.
Okay, no, it's okay. So, in 1997, the NUNW and Swapo formally entered into that affiliation accord agreement. There were two narratives there. Some people were saying, no, we cannot, as a labor union movement or trade union movement, affiliate to any political party because we are representing workers across all political boundaries. That was one argument. The other argument was to say it is actually good to be affiliated because then you have an opportunity. It's convenient for you to influence policies in favor of the workers. But today that affiliation seems to be just a conveyor belt, if you like, for unions, for unionists like yourself to basically go to government. You go to the Swapo Congress or Electoral College, you make it to Parliament, you become a minister, you have your Benu Lengas, Naruseb, Bernard Esau, you have Cleopas Mushavikwa himself, that you mentioned earlier. They were all part of that, and then they went into government. That agreement seems to be just working for that now.
It's not a new thing. Swapo was created by workers.
I get it.
It's our organization.
I get it.
How do you want to separate yourself from your mother? You see, besides the federation, all Namibians on the constitutional basis have the right to organize themselves, have the right to join political parties of their will. What is wrong? What is the difference between me being a worker and a member of Swapo and being a worker and a member of a federation that is affiliated to Swapo? What is the difference?
But that is not the argument, Mr. Muniaro.
There's no difference.
The argument is that the principle for which this affiliation was signed is not being applied to the letter. They are saying that instead of having that principle that you are using this agreement to influence policy, it has become basically a cash cow, if you like, for unionists to secure better jobs in government. So what I'm putting to you is, how is that affiliation being used? To whose benefit is it being used as we speak?
The accord is not a financial beneficial accord. It's more an administrative accord to make sure that we have a better working relationship in the political space, to take care of the politics of the country, to take care of the employment of the country. So if politics goes wrong, everything goes wrong, including the employment of workers, including jobs. If the federations as strong as NUNW, whether you want to recognize it or not, we are strong, and we remain strong. You will always call me here. You will not call those ones that are weak here. So we make sure that labor in this country are managed properly to avoid labor unrest, to avoid civil wars, to avoid all those unwanted situations in the country that affects the lives of people. So the relationship between political parties, especially the ones that we have for quite a long time, it has kept this country united. It has kept the Swapo Party united. It has kept the Plan Fighters united to fight for one common goal. So that unity cannot be destroyed by interested parties.
No, but Mr. Muniaro,
people who give you some questions, say, go and question him why.
No.
Why are you not worried about when you go to countries like Germany? It goes to Britain. We have labor parties in parliaments.
I know that.
But that is good for you.
No.
But you don't have.
No.
It's not good for Namibia.
No, but you're not understanding me, Mr. Muniaro. For the record, these are my own questions. I produce this show. I do these questions myself.
I'm with you. I'm just with you. I'm saying, let us not be flows by outsiders and question yourself as a country as to why you should not do good, while the others are doing good and they are succeeding with the good.
No, but you see, I have no issue with the affiliation at all, personally. What I have an issue with is if this affiliation, the original principles are being undermined, because the original principles were to say, let's align ourselves to the ruling party so that we are in a pole position to influence policy for the benefit of our members and Namibian workers in general. That is the issue that I have. If what I would be against personally, in my personal opinion, is if this affiliation has now become just to say, oh, let's clap hands every time the party does something. For example, there are issues being raised now. Swapo has benefited from the fish rot scandal, for example. It's an allegation. The NUNW ought to ask the party to say, fish rot, a lot of our members have suffered because of this fish rot thing. And we want the ruling party to come out clean, declare that they have nothing to do with that. Swapo has never come out with that with any denial, and it gives workers. So the affiliation shouldn't be for that purpose. It shouldn't be to smoothen each other's egos and whatnot.
You see, we are not here to tell me that you have not condemned this. We have not condemned this.
No, we have
never planned our operations on criminal activities, on corruptions. We have condemned all corruption that has gone through this world, even in and outside this country. Fish rod up to today, if you want, I can tell you that the Federation is totally not supporting what transpired there. And even if you have 2-3 back to statements of mine that said, I said, even those who were appointed as ministers of fisheries, they were never appointed to go and steal. They were appointed to go and serve the nation.
Yes.
Why would you want me to say more than that? President said, go and serve the nation. You go and steal. Now you want us to say something else.
Yeah, no,
that's total corruption.
Yeah, okay. So I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you, Mr. Muniaro.
Yes.
The last 2 questions. The first one is, how serious is NUNW taken by Swapo these days? Are you taken serious by Swapo as a partner? Because at the recent elective congresses, the unions are being defeated. Of course, it's a democratic process and whatnot, but unions are failing to make a breakthrough lately. At the Electoral College, the union representatives are not being elected to parliament. How serious do you think your union is still being taken by the party?
I think we are not hurt by that. You see, we are focused.
Yeah.
On politics, we are focused. It shows you that we are not making mess about that, because we are not worried about that. Because it's merely to show that we are politically mature organizations.
Okay.
We are not there to make breakthroughs and those things. Whoever wants our advices, whoever wants our contributions to this development of this country, they are welcome to approach us and take what they need. And in terms of policy making that you said, we have not been able to do that. There's no policies in this country in terms of labor where we have never been involved. Migration policies, employment policies, all those policies mentioned, the Labor Act, the renewal of the new Labor Act, even now, all those were involved.
Okay.
So it's unfortunate that maybe we should every day come to you and tell you we are here doing this policy, we are doing this policy.
No, you tell your members, not me.
The members knows about that.
No, when we have a broader reach to your members than what you guys do at Mungunda.
It's unfortunate, it's not true.
It's not true. Okay. The last question, Mr. Muniaro, is that you were elected as de facto Secretary General of the NUNW in 2015. It was 5 years ago. I don't know how long is the term in office, but it was exactly in May 2015 that you were voted. So we are 5 years later, we are in May now. Is your term coming to an end, and what is the way forward? Is the Congress coming up soon?
I think that will still come. Congress still coming.
Yeah.
We are still busy with our organizations.
Yeah.
It's just that COVID has held us up.
Yeah.
And COVID did not come to block any developments and everything. It just came as a disease. Yeah. Disaster disease. You know, for us to spare the lives of people, in order for them to attend Congress, they must first be healthy. Indeed. And they must not be underground. So we hope if COVID can sooner disappear in terms of adherence to the cause of health. Yeah. You will be one of the people who will be invited to attend Congress of NUNW. Yeah. And make sure that we are law-abiding leaders of the Federation. Indeed. So, yeah, there's no hiccups in that.
Okay, Mr. Muniaro, thank you very much for coming. I appreciate it. Yes. I hope you are so willing to come back to this seat for future conversations. Or did I scare you away? No. We are good. I like hard questions because you see, Comrade, it's just that you have not gone far in terms of what you're supposed to do, because we are in an area where COVID has really had an impact on the workers in the country. Please.
I thought it's where you're supposed to see. It's where you're supposed to realize our demonstration in terms of that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in the paper.
I'm challenging you to call me for that.
I'll do that. That was Job Muniaro, a very good friend of mine. Outside the studio, we are very good friends. We had a very frank but beautiful chat tonight, and I hope you enjoyed the interview. Good night.